Hello again, everybody. Okay, just doing a quick video. I was on our favorite website, JWN, Jehovah's Witness Discussion Forum, and I saw a post the other day about the upcoming 2014 regional conventions. Wow, isn't that amazing? All these years of Watchtower conventions, uh, where we were calling them as witnesses for years and years and years, and all my life being the witness, being at almost every convention except for the last couple of years, was district conventions. District convention time. Except now the Watchtower Society has recently changed it, and they are now calling the district conventions, they're now changing them to regional conventions. And this year there's actually some special international conventions, even in Washington, D.C., and London, Detroit, Atlanta, Dallas, Texas, and I believe there might be one in New York, I think. I could be wrong. And what's interesting with this 2014 Keep Seeking First God's Kingdom 2014 Convention of Jehovah's Witnesses is its official title. It's the upcoming regional convention, which used to be the district convention. But it's very interesting that this somebody posted on JWN discussion forum a picture of information from someone, I guess, someone who has access to the information. He says that they've now created two new departments for our district convention, for the regional convention. And if you have ever been involved in running or in helping organize a district convention, they have the entire thing separated into separate departments. So you have cleaning department, you have trucking department, sound department, administration department, so on and so forth, lost and found, health department, first aid, and etc. Different departments that are basically running the show. And now they have new departments, an official IT department and a video department. And according to this schedule, he has the basically looks like 3 Talks Friday, 3 Talks Saturday, 3 Talks Sunday. So the Free Talks Friday keynote address, highly esteemed present kingdom blessings, how Babylon the Great has shut up the kingdom, and teach your children to love God's kingdom. Looks like they're all going to have, the first one's going to have a governing body member on live video. The second one says it's going to have a tied-in governing body helper. I didn't know what that means. I mean, everyone else under the governing body is technically a governing body helper, so I guess it's not a governing body member, I suppose. And teach your children to love God's kingdom as a hiding governing body member. I think that's probably going to be video. They're probably going to show some clip of Caleb and Sparlock and Listen, Obey, and Be Blessed, the children's cartoon. And I think he's got a sister now, and you can dress them up and drive them in their little toy car. And it's this nice little Disney Pixar looking cartoon, except that it's Watchtower. And it's basically about how children are supposed to make Jehovah's heart happy and not make his heart sad. And this talk is teach your children to love God's kingdom, which is interesting. Saturday, enter the kingdom maimed, lame, or one-eyed, tied-in governing body helper. For such an important talk, I'm surprised they don't have the actual governing body there. They're going to have a governing body helper on video. That sounds like a talk that's basically saying remain loyal to the organization no matter what happens. No matter what happens. That's what I'm getting from that. Just a title. Saturday sound drama. Jehovah is the only true God. So that's a drama with just sound, but it looks like it's also going to have pre-recorded video according to this. And again, probably try to build their faith in the God of the Watchtower Society, their version of Jehovah of the Bible. Yahweh, but it's not even really Yahweh to them. It's Jehovah. And Saturday, another one, Jehovah's Organization. This is going to be interesting. Jehovah's Organization, 100 years of seeking first God's established kingdom, and that's going to have a governing body members. So they're going to be making a big deal about 100 years of basically 100 years of Watchtower. And well, not actually, it's more than 100 years of Watchtower, but 100 years since 1914. And that my speculation, just looking at it, is maybe they're gonna make a move towards. They've already done the overlap generations of 3 or multiple overlap generations to extend their prophecy and their theology, hundreds of years in the future. But it's possible they may change the 1914 doctrine somehow and push it out of the way somehow. However they might do that. Because remember, the Unwitnessed did a video calling Bethel and asked them about 1914 being the central doctrine, and they basically flat out denied that 1914 was the central doctrine of the Watchtower. Now that could be because they're making a change in doctrine, or maybe they just don't want to acknowledge that 1914 was such an important doctrine. But that's interesting. The next one on Sunday, the public discourse, Earth's new ruler who really qualifies, tied in governing body helper. I think that kind of talk is basically saying that only the witnesses qualify to be in the kingdom when it comes, and the anointed ones, of course, the governing body, the faithful, discreet slave, are the special rulers that are really going to be Earth's new rulers, even though it's supposed to be Jesus and God. But basically, that's going to be faithful to the organization, is what I can tell. Sunday drama, not one word has failed. Now, this is the actual. I believe Sunday is still the proper drama, like they would traditionally have. The poorly acted, highly exaggerated, live-action, skit-wearing, somewhat poor quality period piece costumes with fake beards and extremely extravagant gestures that, are kind of a little silly to watch. Especially when you're upstage. I actually had, even though I've never been baptized, I've had the privilege of being in a drama a few years ago back, and it's a very interesting procedure how they do that and practice it many times over, I think. Well, I basically didn't have really any words in the part at all, but I'm sure the people who did have actual words in their lines. Not that they said anything, because it's all pre-recorded, taped, and sent all over the world, basically, in English places. But how many times they would have practiced, and we ran through the entire thing many times, and it was funny, really funny with the drama, because it got to a point when we were done, basically, when we had the thing down pat. It was a few people's idea to kind of make fun of the whole thing, and I can't remember exactly, but they use things, real life, modern day objects in the drama, with like drinking Coke and energy drinks and other things, and making kind of a mockery. I was surprised that we actually went through the whole thing, and the elders didn't really seem to care. Actually, I think they thought it was funny. I was actually thinking that they would say, "Oh, you can't do that," but they all kind of thought it was funny to kind of make fun of the whole thing, which I thought was kind of interesting. Everything in those dramas were really scripted, and you only get what you're assigned. You only get just the page you're assigned to. So I only got like one page, but other people got the whole thing if they had basically parts in the whole thing. And the instructions were we were to destroy the copies of the script and anything that came with it. I believe I still have it, but then I looked for it and I can't find it, so something must have happened. I think somebody must have taken it away, or I must have thrown it out by accident, because I kind of wanted to keep that, but oh well. And then lastly, never be anxious, keep on seeking first God's kingdom, tied in member of a governing body. And of course it has a picture of the stage there, and that's actually quite an unusual stage for a convention, because usually you just have a stage with the sign and the podium and a little table on the side, and that's usually all you have, and the plants. But this looks like they're putting a whole back wall in where they can walk and sit behind the stage and wait, and then again on the left side and the right side, a video screen of the speaker is what I'm seeing in that picture there. So very interesting, a lot more tied in videos, governing body members, and it's really starting to look to me more and more like a 1984 Big Brother system. I remember, and the funny thing is, I read 1984 a long time ago, and I remember sitting in a Kingdom Hall and Assembly Hall. This was years ago. We did have a camera there so that people in other parts of the building could watch it on a little screen, But I remember saying, in 5 years, 6, 7 years, they're going to have TV screens, and they're going to have their people tied in on here, and they're going to be plastered all over the place. And that's exactly what happened. And that looks like exactly what's happening here. More tied-in videos of governing body members, their face plastered on the big screen, and we look, oh, there's the governing body of the faithful slave. We must listen and keep our eyes gazed on the telescreen for our big brother and mother, the organization of the faithful discreet slave governing body, 100 years of seeking first God's kingdom. But also not just 100 years of seeking first God's kingdom, which is biblical, I guess, but it's also 100 years of making false statements and bad doctrine, and we know all the issues that they have. But anyways, I'm going to end it for here, and let me know if you think anything's interesting about this. That's about all I got to say, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.